In addition to the New York Times' increasingly desperate and frenzied attempt to salvage liberalism, there's the issue that one of their major investors who might well save the newspaper from bankruptcy is a fellow named Carlos Slim, who is the richest man in Mexico. He's a Mexican citizen, and he made a major investment in the New York Times. So maybe that had something to do
that doesn't have to
with
do
them.
No, since Obama's been elected, you've seen an uptick in the gay marriage, the culture wars, the real issues. They feel, the far left feels, that they have some now power, and they're going to wield it. But look, this isn't about illegal immigration. I don't think Andrew Rosenthal, the New York Times, cares a hoot about some Mexican worker making his way across Texas or Arizona to get some money. This is about changing the political climate and adding votes to the Democratic liberal platform. That's what it's about. The upside is that you get so many people here to register to vote that it changes the equation. They're not going to register, most of them, as Republicans, Ms. Buchanan. They're not.
That is absolutely correct. That has been on the agenda of the left for some time. They feel a real opportunity, some excitement, if you like, at the possibility of actually getting those more and more people here, get an amnesty bill through now that we have a liberal government in Washington. That is their goal. And if they can use the politics of intimidation to keep us quiet, the government is losing that drug war down there. And they are we could lose them. They could fall. The government could fall down there. And that would cause enormous disruption.
I mean, if the Mexican government falls, or they go into a depression, or something happens, then you're going to have a massive amount of problem.
Exactly.
Now, what do you guys suggest? Look, I'm taking these New York Times on. I mean, it's war. Absolutely war. And
I'm with you, Bill.
I've had enough. I mean, and they continue to attack us. All we do is reply to their attacks. I mean, I don't come on here with a talking points memo criticizing Andrew Rosenthal. I couldn't care less about this pinhead. All right, he has no influence. And I know people are saying, hey, O'Reilly, nobody reads the New York Times. It's obsolete. As Jim pointed out, he's got severe economic problems. But they listen in Washington. It gets on the net, and it goes into the Hispanic community, and the Hispanic community thinks me, you, Miss Buchanan, and you, Jim, are white supremacists. Because these people, some of them, don't watch The Factor. They see this, and they run with it. So what should I do? I'm going to give you both 30 seconds to combat this New York Times dishonesty. Jim, you start.
One thing is nail them on specific factual errors, as you do all the time. And I'm going to write a letter to them myself saying that, look, you said that I was involved in the Willie Horton campaign of 1988. I wasn't. And so when they make factual errors, and then you can go to the minority community and say, listen, these guys are just not telling the truth, and we can prove it, chapter and verse.
No, I don't know if proof matters anymore, Miss Buchanan. What do you think?
You're right. They don't care about fact, Bill. That, the truth is inconvenient. They don't even consider that
I mean, certainly
even an
the New York
issue
Times
anymore.
couldn't care less about what's true and what isn't. We've seen that time and time again.
I think what you have to do is to let the American people, we have two things on our side. We have the American people who understand this issue very, very clearly. I know this for absolute fact because I've been out there among them for years now. And the second thing we have is the circumstances in which this nation now is in.
All right.
And so
well, look, we're going to continue to cover
you need to tell those people that.
We're going to continue to cover the issue fairly. But with the New York Times now, it's going to go to another level. Bill O'Reilly in the Unresolved Problem segment tonight. Who will win the struggle for economic dominance, and who will prevail on important issues like illegal immigration? Joining us now from Washington, Mary Catherine Ham and Juan Williams. Both are Fox News analysts. Mary Catherine, I got to ask you a very personal question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't you feel sorry for me?
I think so. I do. I feel very sorry for you. No, you can tell by this attack.
Has there ever been anybody in your lifetime? It hasn't been that long a lifetime. Right. Juan and I are old guys. Right. More misunderstood than me, more attacked than me.
I doubt it, Bill. I mean, you can tell by this attack how it's juvenile, it's intemperate. The fact that he quotes Google and YouTube as opposed to actually going to the archive of the show and finding the interview you did is proof of how bad this is. But I think largely this is a signal to the cultural left and from the New York Times that they're not giving up on this racial demagoguery stuff. Just because Obama's in the White House does not mean this is over. They're going to use it as a cudgel as long as they can and as long as it works. And I'm glad to see you fighting back because that's what it takes.
What do you think, Juan?
I think you're getting beat up, and I was stunned by the idea that they were sending people to Google as if, oh yeah, that's a credible, legitimate source that's been vetted and editorially we've checked the facts. How ridiculous! But here's the thing, Bill. There is real anxiety, and I think it's real anxiety in white America about the number of immigrants in this country, both legal and illegal. And then all of a sudden now they want to make the case that somehow anybody who has a point of view about expressing that concern is automatically a reprobate and a racist and to be, pushed out of decent company. I think this is ridiculous. Imagine if you are in Canada and you're concerned about Quebec becoming the French becoming separatist. Oh, all of a sudden you're a racist? Imagine if you're Joe Biden, now our vice president, who said he can't go into some of the small stores down there in Wilmington without seeing people who are different races.
Isn't this part now of our national debate? If you support keeping Guantanamo open, Juan, you are a torturer. You condone torture. If you're against gay marriage, you're a homophobe. If you think the rap and hip-hop industry demeans women, gays, hurts children, you're a racist. Every single culture war issue, if you're on the other side from the far left, they attack you personally, Juan. You know it. You've been the subject of it.
They caricature you.
But that's now it.
Believe me, I understand it. But it's the smear part. It's the idea that they can attack your reputation. They don't go back and look at what you actually said. Instead, all of their anger, all of their distaste. And I think the Times now, in going after you in this way, I don't quite get. Do they think they're going to establish their bona fides with the liberal community because they're attacking Bill O'Reilly?
Well, if they haven't established them by now, they'll never establish them. Look, what they've now done is declared war, and we're up for the fight.